Hi. So I'm going to show you the setup I have for the Klondike Wenzel 8-person tent. This is the one I got a few years back and I haven't used it. So this was the first weekend that I'm using it. So I'll just show you the pros and cons, what I like about it, what I don't, and just, you know, um, if I recommend it or not. Uh, I'm not being paid for this. It's just something that I did a lot of research on YouTube a few years back on what kind of tent would be ideal for what I needed it for a solo camper, but as well versatile enough that if I have the family or friends with me, how it would work. So here we go. So this is the Wenzel 1887 Klondike tent. Supposedly it sleeps 8, I'd say more like 5 comfortably if you want to have a more spacious environment. Like I said earlier, it took me about an hour and a half to figure out how to set it up because I got this tent about 4.5 years ago and basically did a basic setup to see what it looked like and then never really ended up using it again. So kind of forgot how to set it up, and it was a little bit more difficult for a single person to do it, but now that I've got the concept of it, I'm sure 15 minutes or so I'll be able to do it. But actually I'm quite pleased with it, size wise. And the reason I wanted a tent that did have a screen house attached to it, basically for the reason when the weather gets bad in the early this morning, it did rain for a couple of hours, so it was perfect. I didn't have to go set up my kitchen outside. I could set it up in the screen house and have it be comfortable enough and safe enough to cook in there, uh, without making too much of a fuss about it. So one thing I recommend is if you're doing this by yourself, as you're anchoring the poles, the 4 larger square poles for the back of the cabin of the tent, if you can use a tie down, if you see, I've actually anchored this one to a tree. It made it so much easier because for the first half an hour I was struggling because I'd set one corner up and then the other would fall and I was getting frustrated with it. And then I decided, okay, let's try this. There's a tree nearby. Put the tie down for it for the top of the tent. Worked beautifully. And then within minutes I was able to anchor the other 4. Like I said, it is spacious, very comfortable. The fly goes right over the cabin of the tent as well as the screen house part of it. It's got big windows so you can get plenty of air circulation in it. The con about this tent, and I think a lot of tents, is the fly doesn't go out as far. So I think if it was a few inches further out, it would help with just the condensation, and when it is raining, that it doesn't spill into some open windows. And I noticed that a little bit with the screen house part of it, that because even though it's pulled quite tightly, that a little bit of rain when it was raining and the screens were open, it kind of trickled in a little bit. But I think it's a simple fix. I would suggest, just using magnets and stuff and putting some tie downs up on the other sides of the fly and just pulling it a bit more so it's a little bit further up. But otherwise, it is a beautiful tent. And once you get the hang of it, it wasn't that difficult to set up. And Ruby found it quite comfortable because last week I think I traumatized her with the car camping. Even though it was cozy and comfortable, she wasn't quite sure about it. Right, Ruby? So she definitely likes comfort. So we're back at another site at the Aspen BC Recreation Center, and I found a beautiful site right by the river again, and it's lovely. Got here about 4 o'clock yesterday, spent an hour and a half trying to set up the tent, but it was sunny and just gorgeous. And we did a cookout on the fire pit and had some steak and corn and loaded mashed potatoes. It was beautiful. And then this morning it rained for a couple hours, so I was able to use the screen house and just set up my butane stove on there and cook. Or haven't had breakfast yet, but I think it's gonna be more of a brunch today. And I was able to make my coffee and some hot water right inside the screen house without having to get wet. And now the sun is coming out again, so we're gonna go for a little hike and do some more exploring. There's lots of beautiful little trails. They're actually quite easily done, so not very long, and you don't have to be super athletic to do them, because I certainly am not athletic anymore. So let's go inside and I'll show you the inside and the setup of our tent. So it's got double doors and windows everywhere. That's what I like about it, that it's not claustrophobic. So here's the cabin part, which I suppose you could sleep according to the numbers. You could probably sleep 4 or 5 on this side and 4 on this side, but honestly, if you had to, you could, I'd say, comfortably sleep 2 in the screen house side. Ruby, come on. And probably 4 on this side. So I think it's about 8 feet high, because I'm 5 foot. And I there's no way I can reach the top of it. But even on the sides, let's show you. See, I'm on the side of the tent, not the center. And I still have about 1.5 feet before the ceiling. So it's actually quite comfortable that way. So here's my setup. So last week we did car camping. And so this week we're doing cozy camping. So it's not my glamping, but I decided I didn't want to bring an air mattress. I had an queen size air mattress for a good decade, and it finally started leaking. So I decided, okay, I don't want to, I feel like air mattresses, once the air's out, it still takes a lot of space. So I have been renovating my RV, and I've taken out the dining benches and table from it. And so I had these lovely 3-inch cushions from the RV seating area. So that's what I brought. I brought 3 of these cushions. They're about 49 inches wide. And I just laid them out, put a cover on them, and there you go. I've got a cozy, comfortable bed. Ruby's got, it's actually a collapsible cradle that I picked up at a thrift store. So she slept in there last night because it was a little bit chilly for her. Cozied up in her blanket, but halfway through the night she was in my bed. And on the ceiling of the tent, I did put up, if there's plenty of space, I just stuck a bungee cord with a little lamp on there, so we have some lights in the night if we wake up. Lots of space on the sides. I wanted it to be comfortable and I didn't want to step on any rocks or anything uncomfortable on the floor, so I have these 5 foot comfy furry little rugs. So I was able to bring that and just put a couple of them down. So like I said, there's lots of space in here, so I could easily put a queen size mattress in here and there'd still be room. So I think as we move up to glamping, which will be in a couple of weeks when I have a full setup of glamping mode by Gita, then you'll see how we set it up and what we can put in to make it more cozier, comfortable, and stylish. So in the cabin part, we have these lovely windows, lots of space for airflow and screen, and they do zip right around, which I do like about this part of it. There is 3 pockets. So on here, I've got my fluffy booties for the night when it's chilly. I can put my keys in there. Lots of space that if I wanted to put side tables, I could. I just have my toolbox container, and I've just used that for my little side table for this weekend. I do have, underneath all these cozy quilts, I do have a double size sleeping bag in there, but I tend to get hot at times, so I can just kind of layer. I wanted it to be pretty and cute, and so some nice pinkish little quilt. Ruby, come back. Some pillows just to make it cozy, and then there's Ruby's side of the room. So cozy is the theme in this one, and not glamping, but definitely cozy. Now the greenhouse part of it, which you can use for another bedroom, I've put in a nice soft boho type of rug on here. So this is completely machine washable. And because it was raining, I didn't have to cook outside this morning. So the setup I have in here is I've got a folding little table that can be lowered, or it doesn't take up too much space. It's about 20 inches long, and the height is about, I'd say about 19 inches in height. So it's quite compact, folds up into a little suitcase. For the first time, I'm actually using a butane stove. I wanted to try it out for portability. Like I said, in my past videos, I have several different kinds of stoves, but I thought, okay, well, let's try this out so I don't have to carry a larger propane tank. And so, yeah, it actually works really well, really fast, ignites quickly. I recommend it. I think I paid maybe $31 on sale a couple days ago. Ruby, what do you have in your mouth? Ruby, what do you have? Oh, she's found a piece of bark or something that she's chewing on. And I can't believe there's people aren't out here. It's Mother's Day weekend. And there's 9 sites here. And I've completely got the whole campground to myself. Which I'm not complaining because it's really quiet. But people do not realize that these BC recreation sites, they're free. Use it, people. Bring your family. Come enjoy it on your own if you want. It's peaceful, it's quiet, it's clean. There are outhouses, so it is maintained, so highly recommend it. Get outdoors. So here's a little kitchen set up for inside this greenhouse. Got a couple of totes. I didn't bring a hard top cooler, just a couple of cooler bags. And of course in the night, because of the wild animals, and we have lots of bears around here, I put all the food inside the vehicle. But yeah, this is my little setup. It's cozy, it's comfortable. I have plenty of space. I think this greenhouse is probably about 6 feet wide, maybe slightly wider. So I've got a large size fold-up chair in here, little side table. Ruby's got her little dinner set up there, and we still have lots of space to walk around in. So space-wise, definitely recommend it. There is side screen windows here. The con about this one, and I've seen it on the other review videos that other YouTubers did on this Klondike Wenzel tent, is there isn't a zipper on the screen house windows that goes on top. So I think just for warmth wise, and unless you pull the outside fly out a bit more and tie it down, you will get probably a little bit of rain in. I did notice it on the kitchen side that there was a little bit seeping in, so I had to conjure up a pole to put on that side. I mean, easy fix. Get the little magnets and put one on either side, and you can magnet it up without having to do a whole lot of work to fix it. Lots of windows also in the screen house, which is awesome because I can sit here while it was raining, have my coffee, read my book, and still look at the beautiful view of the river and the trees surrounding me. I picked this site last week. I was the site next to it, and it was lovely, and I could see the mountains, but I found that I was right in the way of the wind, so when it was windy, I could hear it, and it was a little harder setting up my tarp tent that I had set up for the car camping. So I thought, okay, this site here, site number 2, it has trees surrounding around it, so it did give me a little bit more without the wind blowing. So yeah, this is the Klondike Wenzel tent. I highly recommend it. I think, well, let's see, I bought it from Amazon 4.5 years ago, and I think I, at that point, purchased it when there was a deal going on. And like I said, I did a lot of research on a tent that would be ideal for the needs I had, which was having space, but also having lots of windows and having a attached greenhouse for when the weather's not great and being able to cook inside. So yeah, I think it's lovely. It's a little bit bulky to set up by yourself, but I think the more I use it, and now I know how to set it up, it's not going to be that difficult. So yeah, I do recommend it. I'm not sure what the prices are like now, but like I said, 4.5 years ago, I paid, I think, $175 for this particular tent. And that was probably, I had a bit of a discount when I did purchase it on Amazon. I haven't checked the prices recently. I'm sure it's a little bit more, but really, I would even pay $250, $300 for this tent because I think it is that awesome. And yeah, it's lovely. So if you want a really comfortable tent that's not too difficult to put up, or a family tent, it's ideal. And if you're like a solo camper like me and just want some comfort and space, really recommend this tent. So like I said, I'm not getting any funds for this tent. I don't need it. I'm just telling you about a tent that's awesome to use. It fits a lot of needs, and if you're looking for comfort, this is the one. And it is waterproof. Rained for a couple hours this morning, and it didn't get in through the roof, just a little bit from the side screen because it doesn't zip all the way on the top part of it. But next time I use it, I'm definitely going to use the magnets to shut that part out. So yeah, if you're looking for a new tent, try this one out. It's pretty awesome. Have a great day. See you next time.